Okay, everyone, welcome again to Introduction to Storyboarding with me, Rajendram Calloway. And I'm so happy that you guys are taking this class, and I hope that you will learn from this class and it will improve your storyboarding skills. This is a really basic introduction to everything storyboarding. So if you are more advanced, I would recommend that you skip this class and move on to the other classes. This is just me giving you a quick introduction to what storyboarding is. So let's get into that right now. We're gonna talk about the what, the why, the how, the where, and the who of storyboarding, right? So, what is storyboarding? For like those who know into this may have like a slight idea what it is. For those who may not even know what it is, but they're just curious about storyboarding. Basically, storyboarding is a part of the production process in create television shows, movies, games, things, storytelling, visual storytelling productions. And what it is basically the planning using cinematic language to tell a story and to help the director or the storytellers to pre-vision what they think the movie would be like. It's also a way of visualizing scripts, and so the artists could see and the directors could see how their vision is coming along and what changes could be made to help save time and save money in the production process. So, how to create storyboards? So, basically, all you need for this class is you could either go traditional or digital, it doesn't matter. You could use a pen, a pencil, a paper, and a piece of paper, pretty much it, or a sketchbook, right? If you go in digital, you may need like digital drawing software, either Photoshop or Corel Painter or any of those softwares, right? You could also use a free software called Storyboarder, which I recommend because it's a really good developing software that's absolutely free and it's only made for storyboarding. That's the stuff you could use to create storyboards. So why create storyboards? And I kind of went over this in the previous one, like what are storyboards? So why we create storyboards is to save time, save money, and to help pre-vision your story. It's pretty much storyboards are such a time saver, and they help with the production of the film, so you don't waste a lot of time, you don't get stressed out too much. Because imagine if you are creating a film and you don't know what the film is about, and you just go in and you start making it and you almost finish, and then you decide, you know what, this whole thing not working. But if you had did it in storyboards, you would have seen the problems with the story and you could have fixed it without spending so much time and so much money on the production. So who creates storyboards? Do anybody create storyboards? Do special people create storyboards? Well, yes. People who create storyboards are called storyboard art. Now, to be a storyboard artist, you're gonna need a specific set of skills, and those skills we're gonna talk about in the future classes. These are the skills you're gonna learn. You're gonna have to be a good sketch artist, you're gonna have to be a good storyteller, you're gonna have to be a good writer, a good reader, a good analysis person, and you're gonna need a lot of skills to be a storyboard artist. You're gonna have to be kind of a director as well. So, moving on, let's talk about some storyboard artists. And I'm gonna show you guys some of the storyboard artists I look up to for inspiration. And they have been working in the industry for so long and they've worked on amazing productions. And we're gonna start with Brenda Chapman, because Brenda Chapman is one of the lead female storytellers in the industry right now. And I was lucky enough to meet her at a presentation that she made about working in the industry, and at that time I didn't know who she was. And when I saw her presentation about her working on Brave and Prince of Egypt, I was so amazed by the work that she did, and I was so like mesmerized, and I really had to find out more about her. And then I read so much more about her and realized that she's been working in the industry way long time, back in Lion King days, back in the Rescuers Down Under days at Disney. And I would totally recommend that if you haven't heard about Brenda Chapman, that you check out her work. Another person that you should check out is Chris Sanders. His most famous work, I think, today would be Lilo and Stitch, but he's also worked with Disney and other productions like Mulan and The Lion King. And you can see here, like, these are some of his storyboards. He has a really unique sketching style, and his whole look and how he draws is really unique, and I totally recommend that you check him out. Another great storyboard artist is Dean de Bolius. I probably butcher that name, but he's amazing. I discovered him while I was doing some research on Mulan and the production art of Mulan, and I was so amazed by the storyboards. They were so well crafted, so well, they would flowed so well, and the way of his draftsmanship was so amazing. These are just some of his boards I was able to pull off from my book I have. And if you haven't heard of Dean, I totally recommend that you check him out. I recommend that you check out all these guys and the masters. Some of you, the only way you probably don't know about Hayao Miyazaki is if you're like really young and you have no idea about animation or anything, because Hayao Miyazaki is well known throughout the world as one of the greatest storytellers, greatest directors, even considered by a lot of people. He worked on Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, and so much more amazing films. He's actually one of my favorite directors and one of my favorite storyboard artists. Now, the unique thing about Hayao Miyazaki's storyboards is that he actually doesn't work from a script. He works organically with the story, and he just boards and edits, and he feels the story grow and change. And he unlike Disney, where they work from a script and you have multiple artists working together as a team, which is so effective, Miyazaki actually has he envisions the whole film in his mind and boards out the entire movie. And sometimes he doesn't even finish storyboarding the movie before the production starts. Like, the production starts, and sometimes he doesn't even know how the movie would end. So if for some strange reason you haven't seen any of Miyazaki's films, and that you need to go and watch his films, you need to check out his storyboards and do some research on him. So that brings me to the first assignment for you guys. I know this introductory class is really short. I just want you guys to actually go and do some research on this list of storyboard artists that I've laid out here. There are so many great storyboard artists working in the industry now, and every time I see their work, I always get inspired to try and do better, to try and be a better storyboard artist, a better storyteller. So I always recommend that you look at a lot of artists, a variety of artists, no matter if you don't like the stories they tell, or if you do like the stories they tell, and analyze their work and take inspiration and learn from them. Okay, guys, that was the first class from Introduction to Storyboarding with me, and I hope that you move on to the next class and you're excited for the next class.